Imagine a time in the future when your life is full of meaning, happiness, and plenty. Every morning, you feel energetic and ready to take on whatever comes your way. Bring that thought into the present as you watch this video. You should picture yourself giving up those bad habits and changing them with good ones that will help you reach your goals. It is thought that people can change their own fate through their ideas, actions, and decisions, which is called Stoicism. One can live a wise, peaceful, and good life by forming good habits and getting rid of bad ones. It's not what happens to you that counts, but how you handle it, as Epictetus said. Get rid of bad habits right now to start changing. Remember that small steps can lead to big changes. Let us do it. First, I want to let you know that this message is only for you. I know there are a lot of videos out there, so you could easily pick another one to watch. You didn't, though. This is great that you're here now. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. Please do me a favor now. I want you to promise yourself right now a simple thing. You will not skip this video under any circumstances. Not now, not tomorrow. Because you're not like everyone else. Because you're different, you need to act like a different person. There are things that you need to do, and time and care that you need to give yourself. So pay attention. Number 1, being too materialistic. People often think that money and material things make them happy and successful, which is a big problem in modern society. Stoics, on the other hand, think that these kinds of activities can make people unhappy and take away from more important experiences. If you want to stop being too materialistic, you need to become less materialistic and focus on events, relationships, and personal growth instead. Changing how you think about what really counts is an effective way to fight selfish habits. People shouldn't base their sense of success on things like money, status, or how they look. Instead, they should work on developing inner traits like knowledge, courage, justice, and moderation. You can find a deeper sense of satisfaction that you can't get from material things alone if you put ethics first. Making your life simpler is another way to get over being too materialistic. This could mean reducing, getting rid of junk, and cutting costs by living cheaply. When people limit their spending, they can put less value on material things and put more value on events and relationships that make them truly happy. Practicing thanks for what you already have can also make you happier and less interested in getting more things. It is important to understand that material things are not inherently bad. It is the connection and obsession with them that can make people unhappy. To deal with this problem, people can adopt non-attachment by realizing that material things are temporary and will not last forever. When you accept that things will change, you can let go of your connection to them and see them as just tools or resources to be used, not as sources of your identity or self-worth. Number 2, looking for approval from other people. There are a lot of people who have trouble with this problem. If we want to feel good about ourselves, it can be tempting to always look for other people's support and recognition. This habit, on the other hand, can be bad for our mental health and well-being. When we count too much on outside support, it's easy to become hooked on other people's views and approval. In other words, our happiness becomes dependent on things outside of ourselves. When those outside factors are taken away or aren't present, we may feel unsafe and unhappy. Stoic thought stresses how important it is to like yourself and be happy inside. Stoics say that we shouldn't look for approval from other people, but instead should work on building our own inner power and character. In order to feel fulfilled and happy, we can work on developing qualities like knowledge, courage, and fairness. When we are this self-reliant, we can stay happy even when things go wrong or when other people criticize us. Looking for approval from other people can be good for our mental health, but it can also hurt our relationships. If we are always looking for approval from other people, we might seem needy or anxious. This can hurt our relationships and make other people think badly of us. We can build better, more real relationships based on shared respect and understanding if we work on our own personal growth and development. In general, looking for approval from other people can be very bad for our mental health, relationships, and overall health. We can stop this bad habit and find true happiness and satisfaction within ourselves by following the Stoic concept of self-reliance and inner power. The third thing is ruminating. This is a common habit that can cause a lot of mental pain. It can be bad for our mental health and well-being to constantly think about mistakes we've made or worry about what might happen in the future. When we dwell, our minds tend to stay on bad thoughts, which can make us feel guilty, ashamed, and anxious. We may not be able to move forward or enjoy life in the present when we are feeling these bad emotions. An effective way to stop ruminating is to practice awareness. Stoicism urges people to live in the present and pay attention to their current feelings. Mindfulness is an important part of this. Being aware helps us let go of the past and stop thinking about what will happen in the future. We instead focus on what is happening right now and how to stay calm and clear while going through it. Mindfulness means paying attention to our feelings, ideas, and senses without judging them. We pay attention to our thoughts without getting caught up in them or moving without thinking. This helps us understand how we think and feel by making us more aware of our mental and emotional states. Being more self-aware helps us better control our feelings and thoughts, which lowers the frequency and severity of negative ruminating. Focusing on what we can control in any given scenario is another way to stop ruminating. Stoicism tells us that we can't change the past or know what will happen in the future, but we can choose how to respond to things that happen. We can lower our stress and anxiety by focusing on what we do and choose instead of dwelling on mistakes we've made or worried about what might happen in the future. Fourth, don't be afraid of change. It can be hard to accept change when you're used to sticking to the same habits and routines. But sometimes change is important to get better and grow as a person. A lot of great people say that they got where they are by being willing to take chances and adapt to new situations. How then can you get over your fear of change? To begin, it's important to know that change is not something to be afraid of. Instead, it should be seen as a chance to learn and grow. Giving yourself the chance to try new things can help you learn more about yourself and the world. Getting out of your safe zone can also help you become stronger and more confident. To get over your fear of change, one useful tip is to begin small. Instead of making a big change in your life, try making small changes to the things you do every day. Try something new, like a new way to work out or a different kind of food. You will start to trust yourself more and be more open to making bigger changes in the future as you see how these small changes are making your life better. Focusing on the possible benefits of change is another good way to go about it. What new opportunities might come your way if you are open to change? What ways could it make your life or job better? Seeing these good things happen can help you stay focused and inspired during the change. Last but not least, keep in mind that change is a process, not a goal. Getting used to new things takes time, but if you're patient and don't give up, you can get over your fear of change and do well in new settings. During the process, be kind to yourself and don't be afraid to ask for help from family, friends, or experts. Fifth, stop stressing about small things. People often deal with thinking too much about small things, which is one of the worst habits they can have. This steady state of anger can be caused by many things, like personal fears, social media, the news, or rumors. It's important to remember, though, that a lot of this knowledge is useless and doesn't make you happier or more fulfilled. Stoicism tells us to spend our time and energy on things that really matter instead of worrying about things that don't matter. We can train ourselves to focus on what's important and block out the rest by having a determined attitude. This doesn't mean we should cut ourselves off from everyone else. Instead, we should learn how to interact with the world in a way that doesn't disturb our inner peace. To break this pattern, we can begin by figuring out where we lose the most time and energy on things that don't matter. This could mean checking our phone texts all the time, being worried about what might happen in the future, or dwelling on mistakes we've made in the past. We can use stern thinking to fight these trends once we know what they are. Check to see if these fears are in line with our values and goals, and if they will make a difference in the long run. Setting limits on our time and attention is another method that can help. We can limit our exposure to things that make us anxious, like staying away from certain social media sites or not watching too much TV. By making time to think and be aware, we can find inner peace that will help us deal with problems that come up out of the blue. To break the habit of stressing about small things, the most important thing is to learn more about what really counts in life. Taking on a patient attitude can help us learn to focus our energy on things that bring us growth, happiness, and connections with other people. Our thoughts and hearts can change so that we can live more honestly and with more meaning if we work at it over time. Sixth, never try to get even. Getting payback might make you feel good in the short term, but it ends up hurting both of you in the long run. Stoic thought says that caring about other people's well-being and finding inner peace are much more important than getting even. Revenge can be bad because it makes bad things happen over and over again. It can also make you feel guilty, ashamed, and sorry. On top of that, it takes up a lot of mental and emotional energy that could be used for good things. Stoics say that people should try to not care about comments and wrongdoings because they are out of their control. We should instead work on making the world and ourselves better. These people think that real power comes from within and that we should always try to be good and moral. It can be really hard to forgive people who have hurt us, but it is a strong way to find peace and move on. As soon as we forgive, we stop carrying an anger and give ourselves permission to heal. It also makes you more compassionate, empathetic, and understanding, all of which are important for keeping relationships healthy. While wanting payback can help our mental health, it can also hurt our relationships and image. On the other hand, forgiving others can make our relationships stronger. Forgiving someone shows that you believe them and value our connection, which can help us grow closer and respect each other more. To get rid of the desire for payback, you have to think about yourself and reflect. To figure out why we want payback and if it serves any purpose, we need to look at our own views and reasons for wanting it. Mindfulness and meditation can also help us see things with a more objective view and handle our feelings more calmly. We can break the circle of payback and live a happier, more meaningful life by adopting the Stoic view of forgiveness. Our health and happiness can improve if we work on our own growth and development and show kindness to others. In the end, getting payback might make you feel better for a little while, but it doesn't solve the problems at their source and only makes things worse. In number 7, don't waste time. Because time is limited, it is important to make the most of every moment. Stoics thought that time was a gift and that each person should make good use of it. Unfortunately, a lot of us waste time on things that don't help us grow or improve our general health. Get rid of this bad habit and make the most of your time with these tips. First, figure out what's most important to you and focus on that. The Stoics thought that people should concentrate on what they could change. In the same way, we should concentrate on what matters to us. Figure out what's important to you and spend your time on that. Get rid of any actions that aren't in line with your goals or ideals. Second, take a strategic method to fixing issues. Do something to reach your goals instead of waiting for things to happen. The Stoics think that being good is its own prize, and that we can be happy and satisfied if we work toward our goals. Finally, show thanks. The act of gratitude helps us enjoy the good things in our lives and find happiness. To live a fuller life, we should think about what we have instead of what we don't have. Don't forget that time is valuable and that we can only use it so many times. We can live a fuller life and make the most of every moment by following Stoic ideals. So start today by writing down your goals, fixing problems before they happen, and showing thanks. The eighth thing is to stop looking for trouble. It's simple to get stuck in the habit of always looking for troubles. Stoics tell us that it's much more useful to focus on the things we can change and work to solve those problems. When we think about how to solve problems, we move from reacting to things to taking action. One way to do this is to change the way we think about issues. We don't have to see them as bad things. We can see them as trials we need to conquer. Now that we see things from a different angle, we can face problems with confidence and determination, knowing that getting through them will help us grow as people. One more thing we can do is focus on the things we can manage and let go of the rest. Most of the time, we worry about things we can't change when we don't need to. Letting go of these worries gives us more time to think about the important things. We also need to keep in mind that problems can actually be chances. Stoics thought that problems were sent to us to see how strong we were and to test our willpower. When you meet a problem, you should welcome it and see it as a chance to get better. And finally, we should always try to keep a good mood. It can be hard to find answers when we're feeling down or beaten, and criticism only makes things worse. Having a cheerful attitude helps us deal with problems with an open mind and heart, which increases our chances of finding good answers. We can start living a life that fits with Stoic values by changing the way we see things and becoming more focused on fixing problems. Let's stop trying to find issues and start looking for ways to fix them. The ninth trait is recklessness. People often make bad choices and feel bad about them later because they were too impulsive. It means acting on quick urges or whims without giving them much thought or reflection. Stoics, on the other hand, tell their followers to fight this urge and instead make decisions after giving them more thought. To control our impulses, we need to slow down and think about what might happen if we do something before we do it. This means we need to think about whether the action we want to take fits with our morals and long-term goals. It also means thinking about the risks and benefits that might happen and comparing them. Stoics think that feelings can make it hard to think clearly, which can lead to making bad choices. So, they stress how important it is to separate your feelings from reality and look at things without bias. This doesn't mean hiding our feelings completely. It means learning to notice them and accept them without letting them control what we do. Developing self-discipline is another important part of controlling your impulses. This means being able to put off getting what you want right now in order to get something better in the long run. For example, someone who wants to save money shouldn't spend it right away. Instead, they should put it away for later use. It's also important to work on finding inner peace and calm in addition to these useful tips. This happens when we accept the things we can't change and pay attention to the things we can. By living in harmony with nature and appreciating the present moment, we can become more calm and clear, which helps us make better choices. Overall, getting rid of recklessness requires a commitment to making decisions after careful thought and a readiness to practice self-discipline. By learning from the Stoics, we can learn to say no to the temptation of quick satisfaction and instead choose a road that leads to more happiness and success. 10th, be happy and stop whining. A lot of people have trouble with this habit. We might whine about the weather, our work, our relationships, or many other things we think aren't going the way we want them to. But whining doesn't usually get us anywhere useful and can even make our lives more stressful and bad. Stoicism tells us to accept what we can't change and focus on the things we can. When we complain, it's usually because we're upset or angry about something we can't change. It's better to stay away from bad feelings when we know that some things are out of our control. Instead, we can focus our energy on things we can control. We can stop whining and focus on what we can do. We can work to change things that make us sad. This could mean looking for new chances, talking to other people, or taking action to make our own lives better. We can make things better in our lives and turn things around by taking action. Also, we should know that whining won't change the fact that bad things do happen to us. When things like this happen, it can help to be thankful for what we do have and search for the lessons or chances that can come from them. In the end, giving up complaining means changing your attitude from negative to positive and taking action. To change our lives and become better, more satisfied people, we need to focus on what we can control and do something about it. In the end, Stoicism can help people figure out what habits and behaviors they should seriously consider getting rid of. You can live a wise, peaceful, and good life by following Stoic ideals like simplicity, independence, and awareness. Remember that Stoicism is not about being perfect, but about making steady progress toward a better life, even if it takes time and work to break these habits. So begin right now and work toward a better life. Are you inspired by this video? Dive even deeper into the wisdom of Stoicism by subscribing to our channel. By joining us as a member, you'll unlock a world of opportunities. Connect with like-minded individuals in our thriving Stoic community, where we support each other on our journeys toward wisdom and resilience. Plus, gain access to exclusive weekly challenges, in-depth discussions, and so much more. Don't miss out on this chance to transform your life through Stoicism. Click that subscribe button and become a member today.